Of the 77 NBA champions in NBA history, the 1969 Boston Celtics have the 7th worst won-loss record on a percentage basis. 7th worst. They only won 48 games. That team had only one All-NBA selection. And they not only beat the favorite Los Angeles Lakers in the finals, that team actually beat 3 teams in the playoffs that had 2 All-NBA selections. The team's leading scorer that year was John Havlicek. And John Havlicek was the leading scorer on the inaugural all-defense team. That was the first year that there was an all-defense team. John Havlicek was the highest scoring member of that team. Why do I bring this up? This is what I mean when I talk about what player was the greatest singular component to a championship team. Okay? What player needs the least around him to build a dynasty? Okay? Because a lot of what goes into who wins the awards is subjective and out of the player's control. Wes Unseld won the MVP that year. He didn't win the championship. Okay? Why? He wasn't a great scorer. Now, that year, John Havlicek wasn't a great scorer, but he was a very good scorer. He averaged 21 points per game. But he was all defense that year. And he was able to lead his team to the championship. I got a lot of feedback on my LeBron's longevity argument video. And a lot of people pushed back on the notion that LeBron was only the best player in the league for 5 years. So what I did was I went back and I took a look at it. And I went back to 1969 and I tried to discover who I believe was the greatest singular component to a championship team for every year since 1969. And over the next 5 videos, I will be revealing that list. So I'm going to go backwards from 1969 in 10-year increments. So 69 to 78, 79 to 88, so on and so on. And then the last video will be just the last 5 years. Okay? And I will reveal who I believe was the best singular component to a championship team. In other words, the best player in the league for every year. And I'm going to explain why. Okay? Now, how do I determine who the best player was? What's the criteria? Okay? Number one, it is my contention that basketball is a two-way sport and that defense is half of basketball. Generally speaking, you cannot be the best player in the NBA unless you are elite on both sides of the ball. So the top criteria I use is elite proficiency on both sides of the ball. How do I manifest that? How do I codify that? 25 points per game, all defense team. Okay? So I'm looking for players that were all defense and averaged 25 points per game. Okay? Number 2, it is my contention that you cannot be the best player in the league until you win a chip. I recognize that this criteria is not exactly fair, but it is the only way to objectively be able to answer the question. The problem is, NBA history is replete with great regular season performances from great players that get to the playoffs and freeze, choke, can't quite get over the hump. Wilt Chamberlain's career records, career playoff numbers are substantially lower than his regular season numbers. Contemporarily, we know about James Harden's troubles, his problems in the playoffs. We know that LeBron James struggled in the 2007 finals, in the 2010 playoffs against the Celtics, and in the 2011 finals. You have to be able to prove that you can get over the hump. Okay? So at the top of my criteria is the highest scoring member of the all-defense team. And I'm looking for someone that's over 25 points per game. The highest scoring member of the all-defense team that has a chip. Okay? There are years wherein there's no one player that meets those criteria. Okay? So after that, I'm going to be looking at who was the best overall offensive player. Okay? That has won a chip. Okay? So, the benefit of the doubt will be given to last year's winner, or player, if you will. So, I will generally contend that player A is the best player in the league, even if they do not win the next year's championship. In other words, let's just say, I have LeBron being the best player in the league in 2014, even though he didn't win the championship, provided his performance does not decline. What do I mean performance declining? You did not average 25 points per game, or you did not make the all-defense team. Okay? So, assuming that the best player in the league that has won a chip maintains his high proficiency, that player will keep his title, if you will, in my award list. Okay? So, with that said, I'm going to lay out why John Havlicek was the best player in the league, the greatest singular component to a championship team in 1969 and in 1970.